So, welcome all to the Quinnergy Women's Group. This is our first meetup, and I know if with a lot of efforts and everything has gone into in getting this group together, and it's a lovely start in the new year. I wish all of you a very happy new year and a prosperous and a safe one this year. And welcome to our first meetup. So we have Neeraja here. So Neeraja, over to you.
Thank you so much, Sherine. And let us start today with some introductions. And the way we will do these introductions is by giving out our name, which anyways is there on our small screens, but we will still, maybe we have some nickname or whatever. We will kind of introduce ourselves with a name and think about one character from, our Indic scriptures or stories or mythologies or whatever. We prefer it to be Indic, but if you're really struggling with that, I was telling Sherine, in that case, yeah, people can go to Walt Disney and other things also, but if it is Indic, it really helps. Kind of say, I am Neeraja Ganesh, and I resonate or identify myself with the character Yudhishthira. So it doesn't have to be necessarily only a female character. And why do I, resonate or identify myself with Yudhishthira? Because he's someone who kind of goes by the book. For whoever has, kind of read the Mahabharata and learned a lot about that, he's someone who goes by the book and wants to kind of know everything and do everything the right way. So I kind of identify myself very strongly with that. So with this, I identify with this person, and a short why. I will pass the ball. Everyone, please keep a paper ball ready with you. I will pass the ball to Sherine.
Hi, everybody. I am Sherine Joseph, and I relate myself to a Disney character, Winnie the Pooh, because I'm so cuddly and I love being happy, and I love showing happiness and kindness around. And let me pass the ball to Veena.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, 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 you are.
Okay, so my name is Veena Bose, and I think I resonate more with maybe Subhash Chandra Bose, maybe because of identical surname and also because of his patriotism, since I was also working in the army once upon a time. That's it. Thank you.
You can pass it on to
Ball
someone.
to somebody.
Okay, so imagine I have a ball and I'm passing it on to.
And hence, it would be good if people can come on the video, right? But if you can't, we understand totally. But as much as possible, if you can bring out the video, at least for the intro, it'll be great.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm passing it on to Chitra Gurjar. Yeah.
You're on mute, Chitra.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I've caught the ball successfully. For those who don't know, I used to be a professional basketball player. Okay. So I'm enjoying this. So the character I identify with is a historical character from Karnataka called Maharani Abbaka. She's the first one to actually stand up with a lot of tact, guile, and bravery. And as long as she was in charge of the West Coast, the British didn't stand a chance. Was also responsible for building several forts, had say in how the fort at Bakal was, and including further up. So if you actually go and see these forts, you understand why they were built and for what purpose. So she's the character that I identify with.
You want to pass it to someone, Chitra?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I pass it to Ashwini.
I'm doing a make do, so I have a sellotape. So that's the ball I I erased a paper for someone. So yeah, my name is Ashwini, and I've heard this story a lot from my grandmom and my mom, but I relate to the character Satyavan Savitri a lot. Just for a very strong conviction of, she could really, for her, it was bringing back her husband from Myanmar. For me, to just stand up to what I think, what I believe, and really fight for in my organization or be it in my family. So I just very strongly resonate with Savitri. And I pass it on to Sunita.
There are two Sunitas. Which Sunita
Sunita
are you
Vikram.
referring? Okay.
Hi,
Sunita
thank you. Hi, I'm Sunita Vikram, and I identify with, it's not, I don't think it's mythological, so I identify with Agastya because I think he's like the father of all healing, and I'm very fascinated with healing. That's why I identify with.
Do you want to pass the ball to someone?
Yes, and I will pass it on to Tejasvi Munagala.
Hi all. Sorry, I cannot show up myself. I'm not ready. I'm Tejasvi. I will resonate more with Sudhamuti ma'am, who is the best example for women empowerment and simplicity and humanity. Thank you. I'll pass my ball to, one second, Elora.
Thank you, Tejasri, and here I catch the ball. Okay, my name is Elora, and I think the character I relate to is that of Rani Lakshmi Bai. For me, she embodies compassion as well as courage, and that's something I strongly stand for. And yeah, so it's Rani Lakshmi Bai for me. Thank you. And I pass on the ball to Kripa.
I got it. I am Kripa Krishnan. I resonate myself for Chanukya only for being very much truthful. But the thing is, I am a bit harsh while telling the truth. So there are so many times people had told, okay, you can soft your voice while telling the truth. So I resonate myself for Chanukya. I pass the ball to Shobita.
Hi, thank you, Kripa. Hello, everyone. This is Shobita here. So I guess I would relate more to the mythological character of Draupadi. So Draupadi was always portrayed as a very shrewd and bold lady who had, like, very, she was like bold in a very different way, I would say. So, and that has fascinated me always. So that's about me and the character I relate to. Glad to meet all, and I will pass the ball to. Um, I'm not too sure who all are pending now. The other Sunita Sawant.
You're on mute, yeah.
I was ready with the ball, so yes. Neeraja, you really made us think of all the characters and all. And the moment you asked this question, there were three people who came in my mind, and I don't think none of them were mythological. The first person who comes to my mind, and on a lighter note, is from the cartoon character Nobita's mom. I resonate with her because whenever we are watching that cartoon, my kids look at me when the mom starts screaming "Nobita." So I relate a lot to that character. The second character that I had in mind was Sudha Murthy. However, I think Tejasvi spoke about Sudha Murthy. So Tejasvi, we have something in common. The third person that I really resonate and about whom I came to know of late and a few of the nitty-gritties is Ahilyabai Holkar. I got to know that she had won a lot of states without actually having a war. I mean, she was that intelligent, managing the entire state. When there was, I mean, she did not have a husband, but her father-in-law empowered her to manage the entire state, and that's how she grew. So she is one of the person whom I resonate a lot, though I'm not like that. But yes, I don't like war or picking up conflicts. So somewhere, few of the characters I do resonate with. So yes, these three people are in the slideshow. And I would now throw the ball to Ratnashri.
Oops, sorry, I've joined in late, so I think somebody needs to quickly update me on what's happening.
Yeah, so
Just
Sunita has thrown a ball at you, so you're catching it.
all right.
And it is now your time to introduce yourselves, your name, and maybe one character that you kind of really believe you identify with. So Ratna is like that, or something of that sort.
Okay. So I'm Ratnashri. I'm an investment advisor, and I work a lot in the space of women. I have a brand called Her Money. So my passion is to work with women, empowering them economically. The one character I resonate with, I don't know how many of you have seen it, but the character that comes to my mind is from a movie called Gone with the Wind. Scarlett O'Hara is definitely someone I feel I resonate with. Very feminine on the face of it, very masculine deep inside. Has sees through a lot of troubled times, takes charge, can do things. So I think that's who I resonate with.
Thank you. And you'll have to pass the ball to
I have to
someone.
pass the ball on someone. Now I don't know who all have been done or not done. So
We on the video we have Julie, who's yet to give her introduction, and we have the others like Jessie. We have Smita. Shobita's done Sonu.
okay, I'll pass it on to Smita because Smita was my classmate and a very dear friend. So it's just easier for me.
Okay.
I'm not differentiating on any other terms. So just go ahead.
Sure.
Hi, so I've got the ball. Hello, everyone. My name is Smita Tandon. And interesting thing that you have, passed on to us, Neeraja. Can't really think of immediately of mythological character, but what my children generally tell me is that you are like Shabari from Ramayana, who would always taste the food first before offering us, just to ensure that it is right and nutritious for us. So this is what comes to my mind. So I'll pass the ball to Sonu.
Thank you. I resonate with uh, there are three characters actually from one cartoon series that Duckworld aata tha pehle. So usme there are the youngsters Louis, Hui, and Dewey, I think. So I resonate with them for they just go in and explore something unknown and unknown territories. They are very keen in exploring, and somehow they come out of it learning something or gaining something. So I resonate with this thing. Thank you.
You want to pass it to someone?
Yeah, and I pass the ball to Jessie.
Yeah. Hi, Neeraja. Hi, Sherine.
Hi, Jessie.
I think my camera is off. Okay, hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice to be here. I'm sorry, even I was late, and I think I was also thinking of asking the question, but somebody, Ratnashri, was asking, so I got the answer what activity was going. Only the ball was ready. And yeah, I couldn't think of any mythological character, but since I thought I still want to answer something, for that sake I thought can tell how others described me. Rather, I couldn't think, so like I've seen my few colleagues itself, they still tell me that, if you remember the children fiction Heidi, the story Heidi, they keep telling me with that, because they say whatever you've learned, you've used it. You talk about it and you use it also. So that's one thing. And then the way I think I have a lot of faith in me, and God, the power, everything. So I think she says the way you speak and also is like that. They keep relating me with that. Others speak. It's like the way others describe me. So I thought I couldn't think, but I'm just saying what others say. Thank you. I don't think I have anybody to throw the ball.
Priyam Shakti.
All right. Okay, here you go, Priyam.
Hi, I'm Priya. I think I resonate with Karna from Mahabharata quite a bit. I think the Karna, maybe the Karna who's dying. So I have quite a bit of the armor, I think, and which is crumbling. So that's one. But because that's a very, it seems like a very dark character, the one relatable other character that I can think of who's very different from Karna, but I think a lot of similarities is the Kung Fu Panda. I relate to that also quite a bit. The bumbling idiot also sometimes, but also with a lot of potential. Um, yeah, thank you so much. Um, Anybody else? Yes, everybody is done.
I am here to talk.
Oh, Julie. Okay, so here you go.
Thanks, Priyam. I got, but it is in plastic. Sorry for that. It's a plastic ball. Thanks so much for this wonderful meetup, Neeraja. I have always been with a lot of forums, all men and women together, but to see all women, it's so fun to see. Thanks for this wonderful meetup. I really enjoy being here. The one character I resonate with is Aladdin's Jasmine. I am actually a fun-loving girl. I love both adventure. I'm lovable. I am brave. So all together, so I resonate with Jasmine. So she fought for. When the situation came, she fought. So she's so lovable. So I tell my husband Aladdin. So I resonate myself with Jasmine.
Super.
Thank you so much, everyone. I think we have covered everyone.
Everybody. Yeah.
We've had a couple of people come and go. Maybe there is a problem with their network. So
Yeah.
maybe if
There's
they're still
Mehta
there
who came
towards the end, yeah, we'll get them to introduce. And so we thought, okay, this is the first meetup and we do have a WhatsApp group and we tried introductions on the group, but there was resistance. So we thought, okay, maybe this is a good way to get together, get to know each other instead of the standard introduction, I am so and so. Let's do it in a fun and different way. And over the period of time, I'm sure we get to know each other much better. So this is not really a very structured agenda. It's more to kind of get to know each other. That's the main idea of this meetup, as well as look at how do we want to take forward this network, which we ideally should build into a nice, strong community of women. That's what this whole next 1 hour is all going to be about. So Sherine, what do we have next?
Great. So we're going to have a quiz. We've divided all of you into 3 groups, and we're putting into a breakout room. And for each breakout room, I would just come and give you the questionnaire for you to work on the quiz. So in the breakout room, you have about, say, 10 minutes for you.
I think we'll do 5 minutes should be good, I think. Also, I'm looking at the clock also. Yeah, if it is too tough, then you have the handle, Sherine, to extend it. Because you can go and see how people are faring.
Correct. Yeah, sure. So you don't have to do anything. I will just place you in the breakout rooms automatically. So you don't have to click on anything or just worried about what to do next. So I will just, put you in those breakout rooms. And as I said, I will be sharing a document with each one of you. One of you could open the document, download it and open the document, and a whole group can start working with the team. I think so. I will give 7 minutes because I have to go to each room and then do it. So let's keep it as 7 minutes. And then of course I will be generous enough to give you some more time if you need. Okay. So you're all ready?
Sherine, you might have to do that considering the fact that it's an all women's team. वो 1-2 मिनट थोड़ा इधर उधर देना पड़ेगा.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. But we are all good at multitasking, so I think so we should do it in that 5 minutes given time. But as I said, we
And
will
I
give
think it's
you.
an easy quiz, is what I
Yes,
think.
that's right. Okay, so and all your breakout rooms are ready. You are named according to like room one, room two, room three, and the document that I share with you also will have the will be indicated by the rooms. Okay, so are we all ready? Excited? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Super. And I'm opening up the rooms for you.
Quickly tell them what was the quiz all about and what was the answer.
Okay, I can do that. Okay. As room one folks had to unscramble words that were the names of fruits, and then we were given letters corresponding to the riddle, and it spelled out Quinnergy, and that's the hint below. So great teamwork, and I think Shobita just stole the show with her very quick turnaround.
Yeah, she just jumped. Well done. Room two.
So we had a similar quiz, but it was all about social media. So it was the answer came up to quintessential inner energy for sure. That's Quinnergy. But yeah, we had a lot of fun because at some point we were stuck thinking, which social media is this? We do not know. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah, so when I did that social media quiz, I had Sneha, my daughter, behind me. She was answering, but I didn't know how to.
They will be familiar than us, actually.
Actually.
Room three, what did you have?
I think it was on the same lines as group two. We all were also given some, it was on social media, basically, the quiz. And again, it boiled down to Quinnergy.
The answers were the same, while the quizzes
The
were different.
last
Thank you.
riddle was a slate. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Right, Sherine, what do we have next? Thank you for walking into every room in and out. And Grishma, thanks for joining us. She's one of the pillars of having formulated this group and helped us put this whole show together. In fact, the quiz was her idea.
I hope everyone liked it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do we have next, Sherine?
We're gonna introduce Quinnergy now.
Sure. Yes.
So I'm just going to put up a slide for each of you so that.
So for the, I'm not sure how many of you have, attended any Quinnergy programs, webinars in the past, or have followed our social media or anything like that. Anybody who doesn't know anything about Quinnergy, they've just come for the meetup, because they saw and they found this invite very interesting. On the chat or thumbs up for those who don't know anything about Quinnergy.
Actually, I'm not aware of anything about Quinnergy.
Sure, Veena, we will let you know a little about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I joined this group because it was an all women's group. And I thought it would be a great opportunity to, synergize with each other, learn from each other, share our experiences with each other. But unfortunately, I don't know much about Quinnergy.
Sure. Okay. So anyways.
I just found it curious, interesting. So thought of joining.
Okay, Bala.
Yeah. Hi, Neeraja. I'm Shailaja. I'm also the first time joining Quinnergy. I really don't have any idea. I'm sorry for that.
No problem. This intro is for that purpose. And as we go along, we will get to know more about what Quinnergy does. So Quinnergy, obviously, as you got the answer from, or the hint in the quiz, the quintessential inner energy. So that's the, expanded form of Quinnergy. And it is an organization that is looking towards leadership development, or I should say a holistic development of a person. Leadership, of course, is one aspect of it, based on Indic wisdom. And that's the USP of Quinnergy. Let's move on, Sherine. The work that Quinnergy has used to do all their programs is based on the work by Mr. Raghu Anantanarayanan. Some of you may know him. If not, you should go and look up the work that he's done. He's done a lot of work and written a lot of books on Indic wisdom and its philosophies. One of them is called The Leadership Dharma. If you have the opportunity, you should read that book. It's available on Kindle, as well as those of you would want paperback. It's also available on that. These are lessons from the Mahabharata and the Yoga Sutras. So all the learnings that we would go through when we attend any of these programs, be it short webinars, are going to be deep reflections, which are enabled through the lessons from the Mahabharata and the Yoga Sutras. And hence, when we wanted to introduce ourselves, I said, okay, let's look Indic and try to introduce ourselves. Move on, Sherine. So we have two flagship programs. One is called the 5 Seats of Power and the second is called Saptaswara. And the 5 Seats of Power is customized specifically for women, which is called Awaken the Shakti Within. Just to give you a little bit more of, what the 5 Seats of Power program is all about. Next slide, Sherine. It is basically, it talks about the Mahabharata and the archetypes from the Mahabharata. So the first one being the Yudhishthira. And what does a Yudhishthira archetype talk about? How does a Yudhishthira archetype deal, with life and challenges, and what enables or how does a Yudhishthira archetype actually take decisions and implement actions? The next archetype that obviously comes in is Bhima. Who is associated with the power of passion. So when I spoke about myself as a Yudhishthira, I really, look at structure in everything. And so I deeply resonate with the Yudhishthira. While a Bhima, the main thing that comes across from that archetype is passion. The third archetype, of course, is, the Nakula archetype, where the dominant power is the power of service. And the fourth archetype is the Sahadeva, which is the power of knowledge. Now, we are not going to go deep down today to understand all of this, but I just thought, we'll introduce you to, what the 5 Seats of Power is all about. And finally, talking about the Arjuna archetype. Not saying that any archetype is better than the other, and not saying that each of us has only one archetype. I'm sure we have, all of them in us. But there is definitely a dominant archetype of propensity in each of us, which kind of makes us behave in a particular manner. So the deep reflection that this program allows us to do is to understand why we behave in a particular manner by associating ourselves with each of these archetypes, and then thinking through in a particular situation, if I wanted a different outcome or a better outcome, which archetypal energy should I use and work from. So that's what the 5 Seats of Power is all about. And the customized version of Awaken the Shakti Within is specifically looking at women and women leaders and their challenges, which are unique, as we all understand. Let's move on. The second flagship program that we have is called the Saptaswara. So it is based on the 7 swaras that anyone should ideally lead their lives with. And one should have, all the swaras in their lives. Again, going back to the fact that each of us probably, based on the current situation, based on the circumstances, the phase of life that we are in, are probably, having 1 or 2 swaras dominating over the other, which is okay. But as long as the realization and understanding that there are 7 swaras to make our life complete and holistic, and ensuring that we enjoy all of them as we go through life, is what this particular program enables us to. So the 7 swaras being one called Maitri, which is around friendship, Karma, which is being about action, Dharma, which is around, what is the right thing to be done. The fourth one, Sherine, can you put that up? Is Gnana, which means are we knowledge seekers? How much do I value knowledge and learning in my life? Ramyam is, do I enjoy, do I find joy in everything that I do? So you have to do your karma and you have to do your dharma, but do I really enjoy doing that karma? If not, then, you are missing out on, something in your life. yoga, which is being very mindful and integrating all my energies. And the final one is, of course, abhyasa, or prayatna, which means practice. So at the end of the day, none of us are going to get perfect at any of this, but as long as we are able to practice more and more of this, we come closer to the reality of having a more holistic life. So these are the two flagship programs that Quinnergy has in terms of preparing and helping us to be a better person and eventually a better leader in organizations and at home and in the entire ecosystem. So what is the Quinnergy Women's Group all about? So sometime during the beginning of this year, I think April, May, is when we realized that let's bring together women who have experienced some of our work. And of course, who have not experienced also, but will get to experience it, through all of these meetups. And one of the main things that is key for leadership and development is to network. And it is said, and I don't know whether it's a myth or a reality, that women don't network as well as men. Well, each of us has our own, a take to that statement, but it is absolutely important for us to build a network, build a sisterhood, so that we are able to help each other and get what we want out of each other. And so we thought, let's launch a Quinnergy Women's Group. And initially, we had invited all the women who have participated in any of our webinars and programs to be part of this WhatsApp group. And we thought, let's get some introductions going on the WhatsApp group, but it was a big challenge to get people to talk. And the realization that came our way was that how do people who don't know each other start introducing themselves on a WhatsApp group? So there was a lot of silence and quietness in the group. And hence we thought, let's bring about a meetup. And then once, now I'm sure the 15, 20 of us who have met each other feel more comfortable in, and putting some chit chats on the WhatsApp group, or introducing ourselves in a little bit more, deep and things like that. So that is how the women's group has come forth, and it will continue to be there. And let's see what we do with the group, because it is something that all of us have to drive together. It is not my agenda. It's not Raghu's agenda. It's not Vivek, who's the CEO of Quinnergy's agenda, or Sherine's agenda. It is our agenda. And we have to build this and take this forward. Okay, so that was the introduction for Quinnergy. Any questions, I'm happy to answer. What do I do at Quinnergy? So I joined Quinnergy as a consultant in July last year, basically to help them socialize their programs, mainly the women's program, which is Awaken the Shakti Within, see how we can take that framework to more networks as well as corporates. So that was how my role was defined. And of course, I do help them with their online brand presence and a few other things. So that's kind of my journey with Quinnergy. Sherine, and any questions, people feel free to please ask if you still have any questions.
What does Quinnergy means?
So Quinnergy stands for quintessential inner energy. So when we spoke about the programs and the framework, all of this comes from deep Indic wisdom. And if you experience any of our programs, it will make you go deep within yourselves and do a lot of self-reflection. So while we may say that, we have these challenges, we talk about women and their challenges, and we can talk about the ecosystem does not support us, the organization doesn't support us, the policies are not conducive for women. But there is a large part of that which is actually stemming from within. If you can take control of why and what, kind of prompts you to do something or stops you from doing something, I think the external world can be where it is. You can still go ahead. All right. So that's why it is quintessential inner energy. It's all within you. And how do you kind of understand that and then use that inner energy to take yourselves forward? So that's why the name Quinnergy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We urge you to read the book called The Leadership Dharma, which is written by Raghu Anantanarayanan. And it all evolved after when we started working on the 5 seats of power. That is when we came up with the energy quin. Quin means five, right? Quintessential quint. So that is why we wanted to talk about the 5 seats of power, and that is how all this evolved. So it is just a startup, and I would say we've already touched about say 600 to 700 people so far by webinars, our regular meetings, and also the contemplative dialogues that we had. And also we had specific in-house programs that we had conducted. So that is how we formed this group as well.
So, you can go through our YouTube channel where the recordings of all our previous webinars are there. So you will experience what I said a little more. Of course, to experience the whole thing, you'll have to go deep dive into the programs, but to kind of get a better feeling of this, of course, the book is a great read. You must, if you have the time, you must read it. But even those small webinars, the 90-minute formats that we've done, which are very conversational in style. It's not that somebody is sitting over there and telling you X, Y, Z. It's very conversational. There are two people talking about a particular topic, which could be, say, stereotypes, women and gender stereotypes as an example. And it might be me who's talking about what gender stereotypes exist and why they exist. Why I believe, without knowing anything which Raghu has said, why I believe in my experience of the 28 years that I have been in a career, as well as so many years of my life, the gender stereotypes exist. And then there is a response from the indic side of things, which is, okay, fine. These are the propensities because of which certain stereotypes come by, or we ourselves kind of condition ourselves. So these are good for you to watch and get a little bit more, deeper understanding of this framework. Of course, a lot more material is available on the website, and we will be using our social media and the WhatsApp groups to, start giving out more information around these things. Yeah.
Rather have two questions. See, one is this archetype.
I'm not able to hear.
Not able to
Your
hear.
voice is so low.
Is it okay now?
Yes,
Better?
yes, Jessie. Yeah.
All right, okay. See, these archetypes, I've heard about it, but and in fact, in our in-house training, Sherine will know that 5 seats of power was done as an in-house training here, but I was not part of it. But I know, I got to see the materials, and I've attended few webinars. But like now, you showed us 4 archetypes, right? I don't know. I'm sure there are more archetypes are there. Now these 5, okay. Oh yeah, the last one was Arjuna.
Yeah, Arjuna,
right?
yeah.
Now, is this 5 only for the women you chose it, or just because it's a brief session?
No. The framework is, based on these 5 archetypes. Of course, there are other elements to the entire framework. You may come across a concept of navarasas, and how does one use each of the, navarasas in dealing with their emotions, and hence, how do you kind of,
Now, how do I mean, I'm sure there are programs that I'll have to attend, I understand, but then so is there a book like this, what the Sherine referring to, we'll have to read to understand the archetypes as well? Because when you're talking about it, I'm clueless, I don't know about it. So
yeah, the book definitely will, is a good read for you to understand, because it doesn't talk only about the mythology. It doesn't talk only about the Mahabharata. It's in a storytelling mode of a conversation between two people, and brings out instances, situations in an organization, in a corporate setup, and saying, okay, why is it that if you go back to the Mahabharata and a particular archetype, so Yudhishthira, because of this, one tries to do this. So the book is a great, start. Webinars, recordings are also good, because you will definitely understand it
where do I
better.
start? Oh, exactly. So I just want to know, where do I start understanding this thing?
Do the webinars first is my thing, because when I started with Quinnergy, which was in July, also I had no clue about any of this. And imagine I went into a webinar without really knowing into this. I gave only my perspective. But even that conversation was highly stimulating, and then it kind of triggers a lot of reflections. And then over a period of time, you can read the book for sure, and get to know more. And I'm sure you will feel like then attending one of the deep dive programs.
Yeah. The second question was what plans you have for this community?
Yes, we will talk about
actually,
that.
we are coming
That's the
to
next
that.
thing. That's the next thing. And it's not my plans or Sherine's, as I said, it's our plan. So let's put the plan together. The question, a Yudhishthira kind of a question, right? Sherine?
Yes,
Come
yes.
to the point. Why are we here and spending 90 minutes?
Definitely. Yeah. So I'm going to share a link right now. But before the link that I'm going to share, I'm going to share the slide which we want you to just ponder upon, and then go ahead and answer the questions that I'm going to share in the link. Yeah, Neeraja, could you just take them through while
Yeah,
I
sure.
just pull up?
So the idea of any network. So I don't know how many of you are able to differentiate between what is a network and what is a community. There is a difference, right? A network is, a set of diverse people like us who just come together, not necessarily for a common purpose. We kind of, some of us didn't know, what this was all about. Some curiosity, it's a women's group, let's come together. So you really don't even know what is going to come out of it, but you came, right? So that's a network. Not much of a commonality of purpose, and we just come together and see what it has to offer and take, whatever we can. But the network eventually becomes a community when we see that there are, common interests, and we all have a much higher level of trust that is built, amongst each of us. And then we are able to, build a community which does things together. You really need to have some commonality of purpose and a very high level of trust for a community to exist and then do things. So the questions that we are putting forth is, all of you have come together, all of us have come together. What do you believe is the importance of networking? What do you believe is the importance of being part of a women's network? Because that is what I think many of us have come here for. It has been curiosity as well as some kind of expectations that we've had to be part of a women's network. And what is it that you wish for in this community, right? I can have my own agenda, but that may not be something that you wished for, right? So I'm sure each of us, each of you have a particular expectation, if I may say, or a wish to derive something out of this community or to give to this community. It's not going to be a one-way, street. So that's what we want you to ponder on, and look at the picture which Sherine is going to put up. And each of you can open this Google form, but please also look at the picture before you open the Google form.
Okay, I've put the slideshow. Is it in the slideshow mode? Oh,
it is in the slideshow mode.
Okay, so the first picture that I'm going to put up here is this one.
So what we want you to do is the context we all understand, it is about being part of a network, being part of a women's network, right? So think of it from that perspective. And what is it that this picture triggers for you? And just put that in that Google form. 1, 2, 3 things max. In the context of being part of a network or wishing to be part of a women's network, what do you believe this picture brings out? Are you all able to click into the Google form?
Yes, we can.
Okay, please do that. So only reason for putting it in the Google form is we can capture this and use that to kind of, drive the agenda for the future meetups. So we give a minute or two, Sherine, and then we can move on to the second picture. So all the pictures are there in the Google form. Don't go to the second, third picture. Just go to the first and put that.
Once you've done, if you could just put it in the chat saying that I'm done with the first picture.
Put a thumbs up or something.
Yeah.
Even one thing, whatever this picture kind of brings to your mind with regards to being part of a network and a community, eventually a community. And the special being women. Can we move on to the second picture? Okay, Ashwini. Okay, I think you can, yeah. So that's the second picture, and you will find that also in the Google form. What does this picture, bring to mind? With, again, the same context of being part of a network, What is that triggering in you? And there are no right and wrong answers, right? As I said, each of us is a different individual and we are made of our own experiences. Are we done? Good. Can we have the third picture? And what does that trigger? Can you just put that in the Google form? The picture is also there in the Google form. Again, context. Always remember the context. Otherwise, we can really write an essay and different kinds of essay on this, right? The context remains the same. We are part of a network. We are part of a women's network and want to build a women's community. What does this picture trigger us with regards to that? Are we done? Is this a tough one?
Mm.
And that's the last picture. We'll give you a couple of minutes in case you've not been able to finish any of the earlier ones. Also, you can go back and write. What is the last picture trigger for you, again, with regards to Quinnergy Women's Group or any network of women's group you may be part of?
Neeraja, Sherine, there are other questions on the form as well. Do we need to fill those out?
If you wish to, you can. I don't think it's mandatory, right?
No.
Yeah. So if you wish to, you can.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll give another minute. And please submit the form. Right, Sherine? You can submit the form.
They have to submit it for us to.
Submit the form when you are done. Okay. Let's move on.
Okay.
Thanks, Tejasvi.
Done.
Want to bring up the slide sharing?
Yeah.
So this is what we had in mind when we, came up with this picture. So we thought that any network should allow us to develop friendships, also enable personal and professional support, bring in collaboration, and eventually, look at, bringing opportunities for each of us. So that's what we thought this picture will signify, women, and then the jigsaw puzzle. So we are all coming together and, trying to, build a nice picture out of it. So the collaboration and the relationship building is very important when we actually want to build a community. So that's what we thought this particular picture signified. I don't know if anybody thought of it like that, but we have your responses, so we will look at it later. The next picture, we wanted to kind of look at that as discuss matters affecting women and also look at being a platform that amplifies voices of women. So there could be certain current issues that are happening and we want to kind of talk about it, or, even kind of make a formal, it could be a talk in terms of, say, a roundtable conference and say, what do we do? Because we are all going through a particular challenge, which could be because of the policies that are happening around the country or in your organization, or it could be any specific challenge that each of us is having. So how do we discuss these matters and how do we amplify our voices so that there is a way to take it to whoever needs to take note of it and look at bringing up solutions. So that's what we wanted to look at with this picture. The next one This one was exchange ideas and knowledge. I'm sure all of us have, specific interests, passions, hobbies, and we would like to exchange all of this, learn from each other. Of course, there's a lot of unlearning that each of us has to do to learn new things. And that's what we wanted to. We wanted to be a platform that enables this. So it is not, as I said, again, my show or Sherine's show. Maybe in the next, meetup, we would love for someone to say, okay, this is something that I wish to speak about. And if others are interested in learning about that or knowing more about it, we will give you that platform. This will become one of those platforms. And that's what we wanted this to be. And that's what, the significance of that picture. And I don't know how many got this, but we really want to be a safe space. I'm so glad that Priya asked that question, that this is a women's group. What is Vinod doing here? And again, Vinod, full respect to you. We know we invited you for a particular purpose, but it is going to be a very safe space, only women. And hence we can be vulnerable. I don't want people to, kind of fear. Whatever we speak here remains here. Whatever we discuss remains here. And even the WhatsApp group, it's so we will have some do's and don'ts of the WhatsApp also. So unless and until we are able to build a safe space, I don't think we can do much. As I said, the trust levels have to be really high for us to be a strong community. So that's what I felt in any network, any community that we would want to be part of. That's one of the big ticket items. So Sherine, what do we do now?
Great. So having spoken about the safe space, now right on top, if you click on view options, there's something called annotate. We want you to, identify as to which space can this community bring to you. It could be no trespassing. It could be all the four. It could be one thing that you wish for this particular group. So we want you to click on the annotate option. And there you have something called stamp. When you click on stamp, there is a star. Just use that. And then if you wish to develop friendships, personal and professional support, collaboration, new clients and new opportunities, put a star there. And then in the same annotate, you have a text. You're just going to put your name also there just for us to understand, which part you belong to.
Yeah, so we will look at, what, matters most to all of you. I know that, you may want all of it, but you could possibly put, if something really, really high, then you could put 4 stars there maybe. Or, you don't even put a star on something which you believe is, not really significant at this moment. So we will just kind of go with what really is the big ticket item for this community to work on in the coming days. So to answer your question, Jessie, the answers will come from here. Now stars are all over the place.
Great.
If you could, the only reason we're asking for the name is that, we can probably also take your help tomorrow in, developing a program or the next meetup, having that in mind, if that's something that you would like to help us with. So that's the only reason the name is also asked for. Has everyone been able to annotate? Is there anyone who's struggling to, get this going? Okay, I'm seeing that there are stars on all the 4 pictures, maybe equal. I will never be able to count the stars. It's going to be very difficult. So what I'm guessing, what is coming out from here is that people believe each of them is equally important.
Important, yes.
Is that a fair thing to say?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, fine, great. All right. Just take a picture of that, just for us to refer back to say, okay, fine, this really looks like, everyone wants to go with all the 4. So we really want to work on all the 4. And hence we will develop an agenda for the Quinnergy Women's group, keeping this in mind. Now, is there anything that we've missed out? Is there anything that was an expectation or you believe should have been part of it or should be, also looked at when we go ahead with the plan for this year? Please tell us if there is anything we missed out. Anybody? Jessie, does it sound fair?
Yes, yes. Only
Thank
thing
you.
is meeting. I think everything is going to be virtual. That's only not fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be virtual. The good
Yeah.
part of it is then we can have Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore, everyone meeting. But yeah, maybe, you know, there will come a time when we could have city-wise chapters, you know, let's think big. So we could
Yeah.
have city-wise chapters and one of you, you know, hosting the, you know, city-wise chapter in your city. So we'll probably reach, you know, someday we'll also do that. But that's a good point, actually. Anything that you people believe that we've missed out, we've not thought about in terms of drafting the agenda going forward?
I think
Otherwise,
this is a good start, and we can
thanks.
always, I'm sure, add if we wanted to this.
Sure, thanks. Hi, what's her name?
Hi. Pratana Jessie.
Hi,
Oh, there we have a Jessie again. My
Yeah.
God.
I was about to call Jessie actually. Yeah. But unfortunately, she came before me.
This is Jessie.
Yeah.
Another Jessie.
Avanga Jessie.
I'm also a Jessie. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Sherine also is a Jessie.
Yeah.
okay. So a lot of Jessies here.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for your inputs. What do we have next, Sherine?
Okay, the next what we have is the passion and the interest that we have found in a common group.
Yeah, this group is really good. You know, the diversity that we have, the interests. So for those of you who are new to the WhatsApp group, or you know, not even part of the WhatsApp group yet, you've just come for the meetup. Some days back, we had circulated a Google form. So yeah, we love Google Forms. By now, you know that. We had circulated a Google form, which is again in circulation here in chat. You can, you know, pick it up right now and update, or you can keep that link and, you know, update it later. We'll also put it up on the WhatsApp group later. Where we wanted to understand each of your unique interests and passion areas, so that whenever we have these kinds of meetups, we can bring in your talents as part of, you know, a particular agenda. So it's not going to be 90 minutes of me talking or, you know, anything like that going forward, because this was the first one. We wanted to kind of get to know each other, get to know what you are after. But these are the things which have come out, you know. So currently we have about 60 people in our WhatsApp group, I think, Sherine.
Yeah,
and I don't know how
61.
many filled the form. Not everyone filled the form. And out of that, and it's not that this is like 1:1. Like, there are many people who, you know, believe that, you know, they're good at story writing. There are many who, you know, have facilitation skills. There are some who are nutritionists, some who, you know, love poetry, baking, and you can see, you know, it's all across. So we would like to capture this so that at whatever frequency we decide to do this meetup, we can bring in a particular agenda item, 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever, and, you know, get you to kind of teach, share knowledge, share information, or just have fun, and you will be anchoring that part of the agenda. So please do go ahead and fill up that Google form, because as I said, this is something that's driven by all of us, and it is a platform for you all to showcase, and eventually, you know, maybe look at other opportunities that will come your way through that. So that's what we wanted to tell you all about. And we will, for those of you who are not yet part of the WhatsApp group, Sherine will send, it will come on the chat here also, but she will also send an email. Is that okay, Sherine?
Yeah,
With
I've
the
already
link,
put it in the chat.
yeah, with the link to join the WhatsApp group.
WhatsApp
Because
group,
going
yes,
forward,
both.
all conversations will be via the WhatsApp group. That's, we feel, an easier way to kind of deal with this. But I know there are challenges, and hence we are going to next look at do's and don'ts, I think, of WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very simple, and I'm sure this everyone knows why we are going to put out these do's and don'ts, but I just want to kind of, you know, make a mention here, and we will repeat that on the group for those who have not joined us. So it is a group for interacting amongst the QWG, Quinnergy Women's Group members, and hence, of course, no random and regular forwards are entertained. What are we going to do on the WhatsApp group? Sherine, next point. We also do not want people to do self-promotions or promoting a company or a brand, because this is very specific to this agenda item that we have decided for ourselves in terms of the women's community. Yes, next point. Self-introductions are, of course, welcome. I'm sure, we will now feel a bit more open to introduce ourselves. So we do want to know what you do. I'm not saying that, I don't want to know what Julie does. So please go ahead, tell us what you do, where you work, and all of that is definitely okay. But in terms of containers, you may be running, say, some webinars, some training sessions or whatever. We would not want that to be put on the WhatsApp group. But I'm sure you can interact with people one-on-one. Now that you know each other, you can definitely, do a private message to anybody. And, if they are okay with receiving those kinds, because I know that these are useful. All of this is definitely useful. You may be running a series of webinars, trainings, or whatever else. They are useful to people, but we wouldn't want that to come on the Quinnergy Women's group. But you could do a private message, and if people are okay to receive that, you could do that. Let's move on, Sherine. Quinnergy, we will, post 2 to 3 messages every week. This will be content related to the work that Quinnergy is doing or the thought leadership that will come from Quinnergy. This is the same thing that will also be available on the Quinnergy social media. We are on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, as well as on Instagram. And we also have our YouTube channel, which will have recordings of all, webinars and other work that we do. So that will also come on the WhatsApp group. So you will get to know about what's happening in Quinnergy and what can you be part of in case there are programs that are happening, and general, thought leadership around the framework that I already spoke about. That is a bare minimum that will come in the WhatsApp group. Beyond which, Sherine, healthy discussions around current issues or challenges related to gender are appreciated. So, for example, I put out something today in terms of a video on the WhatsApp group, which was around leadership and, a few things. Happy for you to, start conversations around that. Of course, I will definitely ask people if there are people who do not want that WhatsApp group to be cluttered, then we will have an option to kind of manage that. But right now, because this is a group which is for networking and building connections and nurturing those relationships, it can't be a quiet group. So anything which is very, very, very relevant to the purpose for which the group has been created, as long as it's not promotional content, we are happy to, have that on the group. What else, Sherine? Yeah, all the notifications about our meetups will be via the WhatsApp group, so it's good for you to be there. Anyone wants to join the group, they will have to fill the form and then be invited, just for us to know who our members are. Yes, of course, it's a safe space. And all of us, please ensure that any discussions should be handled with empathy and privacy. I know that, when it comes to discussions on any topic, there can be 100 views of points of view, but still, please ensure that we respect everyone's viewpoint. And if you really feel not comfortable with someone's viewpoint, you could, choose to have a separate discussion with them, but let's not, make it a debate, heated discussion on that group. Yeah, and all these discussions shouldn't be forwarded outside of this group, except for maybe the Quinnergy posts that come, which is very, 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 informational in nature. In case we see someone not complying to the rules, and it may be inadvertently, right? It's not that you don't want to comply. The admin will do a private message to that person, requesting them to delete that message and not to do again. But if we see repeated non-compliance, we may have to take some action, which could be, ask them to leave the group. This is only to ensure that we keep the group meaningful for everyone. I already said you can definitely, a private message to members. That's between you and the other person, and you can definitely continue the conversations that way. Do we have any other do's and don'ts? My God, that's such a long, long list. So yeah, we are intending to build as a community from a network of diverse and new members, and hence it will be good for people to, yes, please participate in the discussions. After putting 9 points, I'm saying please participate. So, I'm not saying that keep quiet, but as long as, and I hope that these rules are, not very stringent. I think this is something which will respect everyone's time and effort that people are taking to be part of this community. What I want to know with people is, are they okay to be part of this group where there will be some amount of conversations? Is there anyone who feels that, no, I'm part of 100 WhatsApp groups, so it's going to be becoming very difficult if I have too much of conversation on this group? Anyone who thinks of it like that? And please be free to tell us, because based on this feedback, we'll decide how to manage it going forward, if that's going to be a challenge. Yes,
Yeah, I actually have that concern because
Yes.
WhatsApp has become a medium of communication across various forums. So my suggestion is, if we can look at other platforms that may be helpful.
Okay.
One suggestion I have is perhaps to look at Slack, which also allows for common interest groups and various kinds of, it supports all media and various formats and interest, like, today we looked at 4 broad areas based on the 4 pictures.
Right.
And you could have maybe discussion groups in each of those as well. This is not to make it more complex, but just sharing that,
Fair point. Yeah, fair point. And I'm part of so many
Sometimes
other groups, and there are many who are moving to Slack or some other channel. I do see that. Anyone else who has any thoughts or suggestions? Point taken, Chitra. We'll keep in mind. So the
Neeraja,
yes.
I kind of agree to what she told. Kind of like there are quite a lot of groups and quite a lot of conversations going on. So sometimes, probably as you told, for some discussions or threads wherein you expect people to be interactive, we can have like probably a window like every week based on everybody's this thing. So that would make more sense. So people who want can actually participate rather than like every other day keeps things keep coming with the work, professional and personal commitments. I may not be able to. Sometimes we might miss on good information as well, not just like the whole thread. So I see that in many other groups that is being followed now. It's like we have like a weekly or a particular day or maybe 2 or 3 days wherein there's a window open wherein we we have discussions. Again, it's like a choice, whoever wants to participate. But other times it's mostly the admin or whoever the coordinator of the group who is managing things. So that would also probably make a bit more sense, and that might be more effective is what I think.
Sure. Point taken. So we have a few ideas. There is Slack. There is the bit of, keeping it admin controlled and being a notification group and opening it up for a particular, window of time and people can contribute. The third option is that we can have 2 groups. One is only for notifications so that you don't miss out on, notifications from Quinnergy, and another one where people can chit chat. The fourth one is, we have broadcasts for notifications, and this is only for chit chat. So we'll evaluate. Glad that, we've got some thoughts. And we'll definitely, think through what would be the best way to ensure that the engagement is there and we get the right outcomes without really bothering too much. For now, since it will take us a time to move to anything else, the group is open and it has been very quiet. So let's see, let's all get into it and let's monitor how it goes. Anyone who's finding it uncomfortable at any point in time till we move to anything else or think of a better option, please feel free to message me or Sherine. Okay, and we will definitely take quick action at that point in time. Meanwhile, we'll also look at what else can be done. Thank you for that input. And we're 2 minutes.
I probably have, I'll try to make it in under a minute.
Yes.
One thing could be maybe that if it's monthly, it could be, there could be something fixed and something free flowing. So since we're starting out as a new group, maybe if we could think of something small once a month and do a couple of activities in the lead up to it.
Okay.
So the question there is, would that enable more engagement and participation?
Okay.
Because at least there is, it's that one little event or, and that could be theme driven, multiple things over there.
Sure.
And then the rest of it could be just, casual and free flowing. But at least this way there is some tangible assessment of, a tangible way of assessing how many people are engaging and, how
whether it is really making sense and, maybe
Yeah.
this is what others also want. I agree.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Neeraja, very quickly, I will just take 10 seconds. So, very quickly, I like this idea, of having some thematic discussions It could be around, something around the different parameters that you had set up. Could be fitness month, or could be simply about consciousness. It could be simply about, things that really matter to women, right? I mean, multitasking, like what is but, the entire month. And then when we are ending, like in our monthly meeting, then we could just process whatever was discussed so that, people also feel very heard out. And the sessions could be 60 minutes or 90 minutes as you are experts. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanvi, for bringing that up. And
And also, like Friday, is it? Many people said is Friday will be convenient for them because like Friday will not suitable for me at all.
So in the Google form, we had said Friday, Saturday, and 2 slots on Saturday. We got to 33% through for all 3. Right? So it was very difficult. And this one, we had to go with Sherine's calendar. Without Sherine, we cannot run this show. Going forward, I will really look forward to help from others also. Of course, we need Sherine. Without Sherine, we can't run the show, but at least we'll have some other people to help out. Hence, we thought a weekday and a weekend slot. And weekday, usually people prefer a Friday, and Saturdays, Sundays, we didn't want to bother. So we gave 2 slots on Saturday. That's how the responses came. So we picked the Friday. But go ahead and put it, if you've not already put, please go ahead and put what you prefer. And we look at the majority, and then, we cannot fix a date.
I have already filled that form. Do I need to fill again?
Okay, if you have, then yeah. So maybe we'll wait for the others also to, kind of.
Maybe in a month we can have 1 month on a Friday, one month on a Saturday, so that we have.
Because it's very hard to get one slot which will work for everyone.
Yes, exactly. Because today actually my, other activity it got cancelled, so I was out happy to join this actually because Fridays are hectic days for me.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think we are already at 5 and we have to give time till 5. What we'll do, Sherine, is share that video that we wanted to share on the group.
I'll just open the poll so that they just fill the poll alone.
Yeah, please open the poll.
This is for how often do you wish to meet? If you could just put in your thoughts, then yeah.
There's one person yet to vote.
Yeah. Are you able to see the poll? Anybody having a trouble clicking on submit or looking at the poll?
Yeah, we got everyone's responses. Thank you for that. We'll keep that also in mind.
Okay.
And
all right. So we will share the video that.
We'll share the video because it'll take another 5 minutes. Can we just close this? Yeah, I think I can just close this. Yeah. And in closing, I would only request for all of you to participate, not only on the WhatsApp group, but help out with whatever we decide as the agenda going forward. So anyone wants to volunteer in terms of doing thematic, programs or kind of running this or whatever, please feel free to, reach out and we will build small cohorts, volunteer cohorts who can drive different agenda items. So maybe, there could be one volunteer cohort who can brainstorm and say, is Slack the best way or is something else the best way? And then, come up with that recommendation. So it's not going to be mine or Sherine's, it's going to be the recommendation of the group. So if you want to, volunteer for that, do that. And after a week, tell us whatever you tell and, we will implement that. For these meetups also, we will need some volunteers. Ideas are always welcome. So that's the last thing that we wanted to leave you all with. Either on the group or if you don't want to mess up on the group, then myself or Sherine separately, let us know what you would like to help with and we will take this forward. Thank you, Tanvi. Are we done, Sherine? Did we have anything
we are done.
else? Okay, we have to take a picture.
Thank you, Neeraja and
We have
Sherine.
to take a picture. So if whoever is not on video can come on video for a minute, we'll take a nice picture.
Shobita, Tanvi, okay.
Nice.
Nina's back, okay.
Any feedback on today's meetup is also welcome. You can always message us and we felt good, bad, ugly, or should be changed, too much of time, too less of time. Please let us know. We are all, learning as we go.
Okay, let's say Quinnergy. Okay, I've taken a
And
couple.
we usually post this on the social media. Are you okay with it? We just say, hey, we had the first meetup, and we'll put this picture out.
Yes, Paka. You can do that.
Thank you. We'll tag you all.
You can.
Absolutely,
Thanks.
Neeraja.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right. Have a great weekend.
Thanks,
And
everybody.
we will see you on the
Thank
WhatsApp.
you so much.
And Sherine will send you all the links that you need to fill.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you
Bye,
all.
everybody.
Thank you, Neeraja. Thank you, Shireen.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye all.